If your WordPress site still has XML-rpc active, you're leaving the door open to attacks. It was useful before REST API existed, but today it mostly causes problems. Hackers use XML-rpc to try brute force logins or send thousands of requests to slow down your site. If you don't use apps like Jetpack or remote hosting tools, you should disable it. So let's kill this endpoint the right way. This is Kevin. Let's get coding. First, we're going to go into WPCodeBox, and we're going to create a new snippet, and we're going to call this disable XML-rpc. Now, within our snippet, we're going to add a new add filter, and add filter is a WordPress hook that allows you to modify content. So we're going to type in add filter, and we're going to use the hook XML-rpc enabled, and we're going to enter to autocomplete this. And then we're going to use the built-in WordPress function that is __return _false. And this function just returns false. So when WordPress is running this filter and it checks for XML-rpc enabled, it's going to say, no, let's not do that. So now if we save this and enable it, we have disabled XML-rpc. And while we're making WordPress cleaner and safer, it's a perfect time to also track our site's performance. Analytics WP gives you fast, privacy-friendly analytics without the bloat. You get real-time data directly inside WordPress with no third-party script slowing down your site and full control of the data. If you're serious about performance, give Analytics WP a try. It installs in seconds and just works. So disabling XML-rpc works well, but some bots may still hit this URL. If we refresh this, we can see the URL is still active. For an extra layer of polish, we can redirect those requests back to your homepage. So within our same snippet, we're going to add a new action. And for this action, we're going to use the init hook. And the init hook fires after WordPress has finished loading, but before any headers are sent. And we're going to use an anonymous function. So we're just going to start typing in function. And an anonymous function is a function without a name, so we can't call it anywhere else within our site, but we don't need to because this function is just specifically for this. So now we're going to have an if statement. So we're going to open up our if statement and we'll close that there. And let's go ahead and close this here. So now let's write into our if statement. So we're going to use string position. And what string position does is it checks to see if something exists within a string, and if that returns true or false, it will continue. So in this case, we're actually going to do does not equal false. So within our string position, we need two things. We need the string that we're going to look for and the value we're looking for within the string. So the string that we're going to look for in this case is going to be a server call. So this is a PHP variable that returns information from the server. And within that server, we're looking for the request URI. So whenever you visit a WordPress site, you get the server, which in this case is right here, and it's this full URL. So let's go back to our snippet. And now we've created the string that we're going to search for. And now we're going to go ahead and add the value that we're looking for. So in this case, it's going to be xml-rpc.php. And so what this means is that we're looking for XML-rpc within our request URI. So with what we have here, this would return true. If I change this to anything else, even like xml-rpc.xml or whatever, even if I change this to cheesecake.php, it's going to return false in our if function, and it's going to continue. As long as it is xml-rpc.php, it's going to return true, which means we now need to do something when that's true. So we're going to use the WP redirect function, and the WP redirect is a function within WordPress which will automatically redirect the browser to a new URL. You don't need to add any logic for it. It will just do it for you. So within our WP redirect, we're just going to use the home URL, which is another WordPress function. This returns the current homepage URL for the site. And lastly, we are going to exit. And exit stops everything else from loading and makes sure that the user only goes back to the homepage. So let's save this. And now with this enabled, let's go ahead and go to our page. And this is our current URL. So let's go ahead and refresh this. And that's it. You've just made your site safer and more secure.